Sparks every year. Chapter 1. Looking to save money on New Year's decorations, I ordered 50 sparklers from a discount online marketplace. What arrived? 50 bare metal sticks. I messaged customer service with the product photo. The listing shows sparklers. Why did I receive metal rods? Customer service. So sorry. The sparkler effect was digitally added to the photo. Furious, I took 50 selfies holding the metal sticks and sent them over. Could you please add the sparkler effect to these? The customer service rep's avatar was a cartoon sheep character. I typed sarcastically, "Thanks so much, sheep girl." They'd already read my message and gone silent. My sarcasm hit nothing but air. "This is so boring," I muttered, more to myself than anyone. "If you're bored, take the trash downstairs," Mom called from the kitchen. "Yes, ma'am." My hometown is a small city. During the holiday season, someone sets off fireworks outside every evening. After taking out the trash, I wandered around the apartment complex, hoping to find a spot where I could watch from a distance. Instead, I found a young couple being romantic in the courtyard. The girl wore a red puffer jacket. She wanted to light a sparkler but seemed nervous, stretching her arm out as far as possible before ducking into the guy's embrace. When the sparkler burst into light, it was beautiful. In that brief illumination, I saw the guy's face clearly. River Cross, my boyfriend. Chapter 2. The sparkler fizzled out. I stood frozen in the dark, phone clutched in my hand. He'd said he couldn't get tickets home this year. He'd asked me to send him photos of fireworks so we could pretend we were spending the holiday together. I pulled out my phone and dialed. 1 ring, 2 rings. River took out his phone, glanced at the screen, and put it back in his pocket. My call went to voicemail. I opened our chat, fingers trembling, started typing, deleted it, typed again. The cold bit through my jacket. My hands shook, whether from temperature or shock, I couldn't tell. Finally, I just took a photo. The couple was too far away to identify, just 2 silhouettes against the apartment lights. I sent it to River with shaking hands. Beautiful night for fireworks. Then I walked home, my breath forming clouds in the winter air. I bought a case of beer from the convenience store, locked myself in my room. Ding, 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 ding! The marketplace customer service sent a flurry of messages. Please leave a positive review. Below were 50 photos with sparkler effects digitally added. They actually looked pretty good. But what was the point? Chapter 3. The person who needed sparkler photos was already gone. I drank and cried simultaneously, the beer bitter on my tongue. As the alcohol hit, I started typing. What good review? I'm leaving you a terrible review. This is all your fault. I don't have a boyfriend anymore. 3 years. 3 years. We were going to get married after graduation. He was my senior from college, from my hometown. How does someone just stop loving you? I sent over a dozen messages. The other side kept showing typing. My vision blurred. The messages got more incoherent. You owe me a boyfriend. The next morning, Mom woke me by yanking off my blanket. Sunlight pierced my skull. Still groggy, I grabbed my phone and saw someone had sent money. I accepted it without thinking. $1,314.52. That sobered me up fast. My contact list now included Sheep Girl. Drink some warm water first thing, okay? Who are you? They paused before responding. Your husband with 8-pack abs. Chapter 4. I scrolled up through our chat history, each message making me want to disappear into the floor. I'd told this stranger my entire life story, every detail of my relationship with River, our first date, the promise he'd made, how I'd turned down other guys because I believed in us. And I demanded they compensate me with a new boyfriend. You owe me a boyfriend. Okay, I'll compensate you. Big talk, can you even afford it? Name your requirements. I want one with 8-pack abs. They sent a bathroom mirror selfie showing defined abs. Me husband, HO'd. I covered my face with my pillow. At least I hadn't sent those messages to River. I stared at Sheep Girl's avatar, trying to compose a message to return the money. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Suddenly they messaged first, trying to back out. How did you know? Chapter 5. So, what happened next? Stella's eyes went wide as we soaked in the hot spring. I stretched my neck, avoiding her gaze. I didn't respond. You're hopeless. She looked exasperated. What about River? Don't tell me you haven't contacted him either? I sank lower into the water. He finally replied this morning, said he was exhausted from work and why was I being so clingy lately? You know what you saw, Ember. I know, I trailed off. 3 years. How do you just throw away 3 years? Stella's expression softened. That sheep girl person seems interesting though. Rich, good-looking, and apparently very accommodating. I couldn't help laughing at the absurdity of it all. Chapter 6. I met River at a hometown alumni mixer during my freshman year. He was a senior, confident, and charming. He'd visit me at school constantly those first few months. But as he got busier with work, the visits became calls, the calls became texts, the texts became sporadic. Still, I never forgot that summer when he'd looked at me with such sincerity. Ember Snow, when you graduate, we'll get married. During college, other guys were interested. The charming underclassman who asked for my number, I said my phone was dead. The student body president who invited me to dinner, I claimed I was on a diet. I kept a polite distance from all of them, spending most of my time with girlfriends. But as they paired off one by one, the loneliness crept in. I remember sophomore year, second semester. A movie I really wanted to see came out. River was on a business trip. He bought us each a ticket in our respective cities, same showtime, adjacent seat numbers. I can't remember the movie's plot anymore, but that gesture, I held onto it like proof that what we had was real. After the movie, standing by the river, his voice came through the phone. Ember, is the moon beautiful where you are too? I'd looked up, tears in my eyes. Yes, it's beautiful. That's why when I saw him with someone else, my first instinct wasn't confrontation, it was denial. Hey, Stella nudged my shoulder. Doesn't that guy look like River? Chapter 7. I followed her gaze. It was him, and the girl from last night, the one he'd been lighting sparklers with. She was beautiful, confident. Everything about her body language screamed intimacy with River. I couldn't hear what he said, but she laughed and playfully swat his back. Ugh, shameless. Stella stood up abruptly. I pulled her back, my throat tight. Don't. You're okay with this? No, I wasn't. But what was I supposed to do? Make a scene? Force him to admit it? I removed my robe, revealing my swimsuit, positioned myself where they'd have to pass. The closer they got, the faster my heart pounded. He was the one who did something wrong, yet I felt like I was on trial. Stand tall, make eye contact, show him you know. They were almost beside me when my foot slipped. The splash attracted everyone's attention. Perfect, just not the way I'd planned. The bad news, I couldn't swim. Ember, someone help! I felt arms pulling me up. Strong, sure. I clung desperately, coughing. Ember, are you okay? River's voice, but he was standing several feet away, concern in his eyes. I looked up into the face of my rescuer. Impossibly handsome, sharp features, warm eyes, water dripping from dark hair onto my neck. Then I saw what my hands were gripping. Defined abs. 1, 2, 3, 8 total. Heh, a low chuckle from above. How long are you planning to keep touching? Chapter 8. My face burned. I yanked my hands back. They looked familiar. So? Couldn't help checking, I admitted weakly. Satisfied with your research? I thought about it honestly. Pretty good. Then maybe stand up? I scrambled to my feet, slipped again, his arm caught my waist. Thank you. He seemed amused. If you can't swim, stay away from deep water, understand? I noticed the lifeguard badge on his arm and nodded, mortified. And this is? The girl River's girl looked between us with polite confusion. I instinctively looked at River. How would he introduce me? He looked uncomfortable. Our eyes met briefly before he glanced away. He smiled at the other girl. This is Ember Snow, my underclassman from college, someone from my hometown. The girl extended her hand graciously. Nice to meet you, Ember. I'm River's fiancée, Lana West. Fiancée? I shook her hand mechanically, my body numb. Ha! Some underclassmen from hometown? Stella muttered behind me. What a coincidence running into you here. We're going skiing in a bit. Want to join us? Chapter 9. Lana's eyes were bright, genuinely friendly. Thanks, but we wouldn't want to intrude, Stella said, pulling me toward the exit. Sure, that sounds great, I heard myself say. Both Stella and River looked shocked. In the changing room, Stella poked my side. Why did you agree? I sat down heavily on the bench. I need to see it clearly. All of it, so I can finally let go. She squeezed my hand, understanding. Though I grew up in the north, I'd never learned to ski. I fell the moment I got on the board. River skied over quickly. Ember, are you? Lana cried out and fell too. My hand was still reaching toward him, but River had already turned away. His tone with her was indulgent, exactly like he used to sound with me. Ha, I told you not to move yet. See what happens? Humph, I'll get it soon. Careful, sweetheart. The sunlight on snow was blinding. It felt surreal, like watching myself from outside my body. How could someone date different people exactly the same way? What had I been to him? What was I now? Tears fell before I could stop them, my eyelashes starting to freeze. Somehow my legs found their rhythm. I started sliding down the slope faster and faster. The speed terrified me. I didn't know how to brake. Fine, I'll just crash. I waved my arms frantically. Move! Get out of the way! The crowd parted. I closed my eyes, bracing for impact. Something dark flashed past. Bam! I crashed into a person instead of the barrier. Chapter 10. Too close. Our faces inches apart. Someone else's breath warmed my frozen cheeks. I scrambled up. I'm so sorry. Are you hurt? The man in black ski gear laughed, his voice teasing. If I hadn't stopped you, you would have hit that post head on. Wait, this voice? The lifeguard from the hot spring. Aren't you supposed to be at the pool? His smile widened. Volunteer work. They needed ski patrol. Ember, Stella and the others arrived, surrounding me with concern. Since it was mealtime, we ended up eating together. River brought over our meals. When handing me mine, he instinctively switched plates. Here, this one's for you. No cilantro. The table went silent. Lana's expression shifted subtly. River laughed awkwardly. What? I know my underclassman doesn't like cilantro. Right, underclassman. After River sat down, he glanced at the next table. Do you know that guy? The ski patrol who'd saved me waved when I looked over. I nodded back politely. Not really, but he saved me twice today. River looked away. Oh, well, you should thank him sometime. Stella suddenly kicked my foot. I think he's cute. You should get his number. Can't keep staring at dead wood forever, right? Lana chimed in. Yeah, you two seem like you have good chemistry. I gripped my phone, instinctively glancing at River. He nodded without meeting my eyes. I agree, he seems responsible. Getting his number makes sense. My heart went completely cold. Chapter 11. Thanks for saving me today. The guy was in the staff dining area, surrounded by other young workers. Seeing me approach, they all stopped eating. Go on, give her your number. Yeah, if you don't, I will. Their teasing made me blush. I was about to flee when he caught my wrist. Strong grip? Still smiling, he pulled up his contact QR code. I've been waiting for you to ask. The other guys hooted as I scanned it. The system showed we were already friends. Sheep girl. I stared in shock. He stood up and leaned close, breath tickling my ear. Asking other guys for their numbers right in front of your husband? Planning to cheat? I froze. He patted his chest. Good thing I'm forgiving. The way he said it, playful, intimate, echoed my drunken messages from that night. Just let me disappear, please. Not going to introduce me to your friends? I brought him back to our table, my face still burning. Hey, everyone, this is... I realized I didn't know his actual name. My mouth opened and closed. He raised an eyebrow. Hi, everyone, I'm Ash Sterling, a friend of Ember's. Chapter 12. Stella recovered first, grinning. Nice to meet you, Ash. River looked between us, something unreadable in his expression. As River left with Lana, he kept glancing back. Stella practically sprinted away after dinner, leaving me with Ash. Want me to walk you home? He offered. The walk was quiet at first. Snow began falling softly. So, about those messages, I started awkwardly. I was drunk and upset. I didn't mean to. I know, Ash said simply, but I meant what I said. I looked at him, confused. The money wasn't compensation. It was, I don't know, a way to make sure we'd talk again. That's ridiculous. I could have just kept it and blocked you. Could you have? He smiled slightly. You don't seem like the type. He was right. I'd been trying to figure out how to return it all day. Look, I said carefully, I appreciate that you're kind and that you saved me multiple times, but I'm not ready for anything. I'm not even sure what just happened with River. I know. Ash stopped walking, hands in his pockets. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to meet you, properly. Why? He was quiet for a moment, because I've been working up the courage for 3 years. Chapter 13. 3 years? Ash nodded. I noticed you on campus. At the library, you'd always sit by the window, always had your headphones in. I wanted to talk to you, but then I saw you with someone, that guy from earlier, River. You looked happy. My throat tightened. I thought I was. I know the feeling. Ash's smile was rueful, of thinking something is real until suddenly it isn't. We reached my apartment building. I wasn't ready for the conversation to end. Do you want to come up for a bit? Ash looked surprised, then shook his head gently. Not tonight, you need time to process everything. But I'd like to see you again, if you want. I found myself nodding. Yeah, I'd like that. He smiled genuine warm. Good night, Ember. As I rode the elevator up, my phone buzzed. River, who was that guy? Are you seeing someone? I stared at the message. 3 years together and now he cared? I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my chat with Ash. Thank you for today. Ash, anytime, look outside. I went to my window. In the snow below, he'd created footprint art, 3 simple smiley faces in a row. Ash, couldn't think of anything clever, but they're smiling at you. I smiled despite everything. Took a photo. Go home, it's freezing. Ash, yes ma'am, sleep well. I posted the photo online. Someone made me smile today. Stella commented immediately, finally, about time. River viewed the post but didn't comment. Chapter 14. That night, I finally looked through River's social media using Stella's brother's account, since River had apparently blocked me. Photos of him and Lana together. The first post was dated May 2nd, 2018. I opened our chat history for that day. My good morning message sat there, delivered at 7 a.m. He hadn't replied until after 9 p.m. Busy day at work, get some sleep, good night. I scrolled through months of messages, all the times he'd been too busy to call, all the times he'd canceled visits. All my anxious messages asking if everything was okay met with don't overthink it. I'd thought I was being insecure, clingy, too demanding. But my instincts had been right all along. I typed 2 words, we're done, and stared at them for a long moment. Then I hit send, blocked his number, deleted him from everything. My phone rang almost immediately, unknown number. Ember, we need to talk. I hung up, blocked that number too. He called again from a different number. Please just let me explain. There's nothing to explain, you made your choice, I'm making mine. I hung up and turned off my phone. The silence felt heavy. 3 years of my life ended in 2 minutes. I pulled my blanket over my head and finally let myself cry not for River, but for the version of myself who'd believed in us. Chapter 15. The next day, Stella dragged me shopping. New year, new you, we're getting you a new wardrobe. I don't need Yes, you do, trust me. As we browsed, my phone buzzed. Ash, how are you today? Something about the simplicity of the question made my eyes sting. Better than yesterday. That's good, progress. Are you working today? Yeah, actually covering a shift at a bookstore near campus. Very boring. Wish I had better company. Stella reached over my shoulder and snatched my phone. She typed rapidly before I could stop her. What did you send? She grinned. I told him we'd stop by. Stella. What? You like him. He clearly likes you. Stop overthinking it. The bookstore was quiet, tucked into a small street near campus. Ash was at the register, wearing glasses I hadn't seen before. Those are new, I said. He looked up, surprised, then smiled. Just for reading makes me look smarter, don't you think? Debatable, I teased. He pressed his hand to his chest in mock pain. Wounded. Stella conveniently wandered off to browse, leaving us alone. So, Ash said, how are you, really? I considered lying, saying I was fine, but something about the way he asked made me want to be honest. Sad, angry, relieved, confused about being relieved. He nodded. That sounds about right. Does it get easier? Yeah, not all at once, but gradually you realize you're thinking about it less, and then one day you realize you haven't thought about it at all. Speaking from experience? Unfortunately. He smiled wryly. My ex cheated too. It's part of why I noticed you that night drunk and ranting to customer service. Felt familiar. I'm sorry. Don't be. Led me here, didn't it? The bookstore's bell chimed. More customers arrived. I should let you work, I said reluctantly. Or you could stay and keep me company? I'm here until 6. I glanced at Stella, who gave me an enthusiastic thumbs up from behind a bookshelf. Okay, I'll stay. Chapter 16. The week before the high school reunion, Stella called me. Lana will be there, with River. I was quiet. You should come and bring Ash. That feels performative. Who cares? Maybe it is, but also I want my friend there and Ash is actually really nice. I'll think about it. But I knew I'd go, not to prove anything to River, but because I was tired of hiding. I texted Ash, want to come to my high school reunion on Friday? Fair warning, my ex will be there. His reply was immediate. Will there be food? Definitely. Then I'm in. Should I bring flowers for your ex? Help smooth things over? Absolutely not. Kidding. I'll be on my best behavior. When Friday came, Ash picked me up. He'd borrowed his friend's car, nice but not ostentatious. No sports car today? I teased. That was my roommate's. He owed me a favor. Ash grinned. Sorry to disappoint. I'm not disappointed. The reunion was in a private room at a nice restaurant. Stella waved enthusiastically when we arrived. River was already there with Lana. His expression when he saw us was complicated surprise, jealousy, regret. Ember, and you must be Ash. One of my former classmates approached. River mentioned you were bringing someone. Had he? I glanced at River, who looked away. The evening started pleasantly enough. People caught up, shared stories, took photos. Ash was charming without trying too hard. He listened more than he talked, asked good questions, made people laugh. At dinner, I reached for a crab but hesitated. They were always so messy to eat in public. Ash noticed. Without a word, he pulled one onto his plate and began efficiently extracting the meat. He placed the cleaned pieces in my bowl. "Thank you," I whispered. He just smiled and continued his work. Across the table, River watched. He'd never done that for me. I'd always had to crack my own crabs while he ate his. Chapter 17. After dinner, someone suggested playing games. We ended up divided into penalty groups. Through pure coincidence, or maybe not, I suspected the organizer was a mutual friend of River's. The four of us ended up together. Me, Ash, River, and Lana. The game was 2 truths and a lie. River went first. I've been to 15 countries. I speak 3 languages. I've never cheated on a test. Most people guessed the languages were the lie. He revealed it was actually the countries he'd only been to 12. Lana went next, sweet and simple truths about her childhood. Then it was my turn. I'm allergic to shellfish. I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was young. I believed my ex when he said he'd marry me. The room went awkwardly quiet. Ash squeezed my hand under the table. River's face was red. Ember. "The lie is the shellfish allergy," I said calmly. "I love seafood. Always have." Lana looked between us, clearly uncomfortable. "This game isn't fun anymore," someone said. "Let's do something else." As people dispersed for drinks, River cornered me in the hallway. "Can we talk, please?" Chapter 18. I crossed my arms. What is there to say? "I'm sorry. I know I messed up. Things got complicated." "Complicated how? You were dating both of us simultaneously. That seems pretty straightforward to me." He ran his hand through his hair, frustrated. "It wasn't like that. Lana and I I didn't mean for it to happen. You didn't mean to date her for 8 months while still with me. You didn't mean to get engaged to her while promising to marry me. I was going to tell you, I just needed time to figure things out." "Figure what out? Which one of us you wanted more?" He didn't answer. "I gave you 3 years, River. 3 years of believing you, turning down other people, planning my life around your promises." "I know. And I loved you, Ember. Don't." I held up my hand. "Don't say you still love me. You don't cheat on people you love. You don't lie to them. You don't make them feel crazy for having legitimate concerns." She's right. Ash appeared beside me. "You should go back to your fiancé." River's jaw clenched. "This doesn't concern you." "It does, actually. Ember's my friend, and friends don't let friends get manipulated by their exes." "Friend?" River said bitterly. "Is that what you two are?" "That's what we are," I said firmly, "and it's all we need to be right now." River looked at me for a long moment. "I did love you. I want you to know that." "I believe you did, in your own way. It just wasn't enough." He nodded slowly and walked away. Ash touched my elbow gently. "You okay?" "Yeah, and surprisingly I was. I think I'm actually okay." Chapter 19. Outside the restaurant, snow began to fall again. Ash and I stood under the awning, neither of us quite ready to leave. "Thank you," I said, "for coming, for the crab, for everything." "You don't need to thank me." "I feel like I do. You barely know me, and you've been." "Ember." He turned to face me. "I want to be here, not out of obligation, not because I'm trying to be nice, but because when I'm with you, I feel like myself. The good version of myself. We've only known each other a week. I know, it's fast, maybe too fast." He smiled ruefully. "But I've spent 3 years watching you from a distance, wondering, and now that I actually get to know you, you're even better than I imagined." My heart stuttered. "Ash, I'm not asking you to be ready. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know that I'm here, whenever you are ready." The snow fell around us, muffling the sound of the city. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. "Can I ask you something?" I said. "Why didn't you say something before, when you first noticed me?" He was quiet for a moment. "Fear, mostly. You seemed happy. I didn't want to be the guy who ruined that. And then? Then you weren't happy, but you were still with him, and I didn't want to be a rebound or a distraction." He met my eyes. I wanted to be something real. "Is that what this is?" "I don't know yet, but I'd like to find out." I reached out and took his hand. "Me too." Chapter 20. New Year's Eve arrived. I asked Ash about his plans. His expression changed, became more guarded. "I usually just stay home. My family doesn't really celebrate." "What do you mean?" He hesitated. "It's complicated. I'm my dad's son from an affair. My stepmom resents me. They throw money at me and pretend I don't exist." "Ash, it's fine. I'm used to it." "It's not fine." "I made a decision. Come to my place. We always do a big dinner. Too much food. My parents would love to meet you." "You sure?" Very sure. So on New Year's Eve, Ash arrived at my apartment with bags of groceries and a nervous expression. Mr. and Mrs. Snow, thank you for having me. My parents took to him immediately. He was polite, helpful, charming without being obsequious. Watching him help my dad make dumplings, laughing at my mom's jokes, I felt something settle in my chest. After dinner, Dad brought out the photo album. We take a family photo every year. Would you like to be in this year's? Ash looked startled, then touched. I'd be honored. As we posed together, Mom adjusted Ash's collar. You have such kind eyes, she said. I can tell you're a good person. After the photo, I showed Ash the album. Years of my life documented in yearly snapshots. Let me tell you, we take a family photo every New Year's Eve, I explained. I know, Ash said quietly. I looked at him, confused. He flipped to a photo from when I was 7. 4 people in the shot. He pointed to a little boy standing apart from my family, not smiling. Then he pointed to his own face. I stared at the photo, then at him. This is you? Chapter 21. My dad dropped me off at your place that night, probably to get me out of his hair during the holidays. I remembered now. A little boy, so quiet, so sad. You comforted me, Ash said softly. You told me that even though my parents didn't seem to love me, you would, and your mom, and your dad, even your dog. Tears pricked my eyes. I'd forgotten. I didn't. He closed the album gently. I spent years trying to find you again. When I finally did, you were with someone else. I thought maybe it wasn't meant to be. But then I saw you that night, drunk and heartbroken, demanding that a customer service rep compensate you with a new boyfriend. He smiled, and I thought, maybe I'd been waiting my whole life for exactly this moment. Outside, fireworks began exploding across the sky. Ash and I stood on the balcony, the cold air sharp in our lungs, brilliant colors illuminating the night. They're beautiful, I said. Yes, but when I turned, he was looking at me. Beautiful. I didn't overthink it, I just leaned up and kissed him. His arms came around me immediately, pulling me close. The kiss was soft, tentative, full of promise. When we broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. Happy New Year, Ember. Happy New Year, Ash. Chapter 22. The next day, I got a message from an unknown number. It was Lana. Can we talk? We met at a coffee shop. She looked tired. Her usual cheerfulness dimmed. River and I broke up, she said without preamble. Oh, I'm sorry? She shook her head. Don't be. I found out he was still contacting you, after everything. I didn't respond. I know, I checked his phone. She laughed bitterly. I became exactly the kind of girlfriend I never wanted to be. It's not your fault. Maybe not, but I chose to believe him when he said you two were just friends, even though I could tell there was more to the story. She looked at me directly. I'm sorry, I should have asked you myself instead of accepting his version of events. Thank you for saying that. We talked for an hour. About River, about relationships, about trust and betrayal. When she left, she hugged me. I hope things work out with Ash. He seems like someone who actually values you. I hope so too. As winter melted into spring, Ash and I grew closer. Not in a rushed, desperate way, but gradually, naturally. He'd come over for dinners with my parents. We'd study together at the library, take walks along the river. Sometimes I'd catch him looking at me with such open affection it made my chest ache. What? I'd ask. Nothing, just memorizing this. Memorizing what? Being happy. Chapter 23. One evening, we were walking through Ash's apartment complex when we heard barking. A small puppy emerged from the bushes, tail wagging. That's the stray I told you about, Ash said. I've been feeding it. I crouched down. The puppy immediately climbed into my lap. I think it likes you, Ash observed. Have you thought about keeping it? He was quiet. I've never had a pet. My stepmom wouldn't allow it. But you don't live with them anymore. True. He knelt beside me, petting the dog. Maybe it's time to start building my own family. He looked at me when he said it, meaning clear. My heart stuttered. Ash, I'm not saying now or even soon, but someday I'd like that with you. I leaned over and kissed him. Someday sounds perfect. We adopted the puppy together, named her Spark, because that's what Ash was to me, the spark that reignited my ability to trust, to hope, to love. Chapter 24. Lantern Festival came around. Ash and I went to the temple fair together. They say prayers here are really effective, Ash explained. We need to reach the mountaintop before midnight. He held my hand tightly as we climbed, weaving through the crowd. Beautiful lanterns illuminated the path, casting everything in warm, flickering light. We reached the summit just before midnight, breathless and laughing. Thought about your wish yet? Ash asked. Have you? Yeah, same one I've been making for 3 years. Which is... The first firework burst across the sky, brilliant and beautiful. Instead of answering, Ash pulled out his phone and showed me his wallpaper, the sparkler photo he'd edited that first night. But with 8 added words, warm days, sparks every year. My eyes stung with tears. That's not fair, now I know your wish. Do you? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. My heart stopped. I know it's fast, he said quickly. I'm not asking you to marry me right now, but this is a promise. When you're ready, a year, 2 years, 10 years, I'll be here. He opened the box. Inside was a simple silver ring with a small diamond. Ash, I've been in love with you since I was 7 years old, and you told me someone would love me. Then I fell in love with you again at 19, watching you study in the library. And now at 23, I'm completely, desperately in love with every version of you I've known and every version I've yet to meet. Tears streamed down my face. You're supposed to wait to say all this until the actual proposal. I know, but I couldn't help it. He smiled, vulnerable and hopeful. So, will you accept this promise? I held out my hand. Yes, 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring onto my finger. It fit perfectly. Above us, fireworks continued to explode, painting the sky in brilliant colors. Ash pulled me close and kissed me as the world celebrated around us. Later, walking home, I said, you know what I wished for? What? I wished that whoever loved me next would know how to love me right. And? I think the universe delivered. He laughed and pulled me closer. No, the universe delivered 13 years ago when you told a lonely little boy that someone would love him. It just took us a while to find our way back to each other. The snow began to fall again, soft and gentle. We walked home through it, hands intertwined, Spark trotting happily at our heels. And for the first time in longer than I could remember, I felt completely, perfectly at peace. Because I'd learned that sometimes the right love doesn't announce itself with fireworks and grand gestures. Sometimes it arrives quietly, patiently. Sometimes it waits 13 years. And sometimes it comes disguised as a customer service rep with a cartoon sheep avatar, willing to wait as long as it takes for you to be ready. The end. Epilogue. 2 years later, on another New Year's Eve, Ash and I stood on the same balcony where we'd shared our first kiss. This time, I wore a wedding ring alongside my promise ring. Ready for our first new year as a married couple? Ash asked, pulling me close. Ready for every new year with you. The fireworks began, brilliant against the dark sky. But I wasn't watching them. I was watching Ash watching them, his face illuminated by colored light, Spark sleeping peacefully at our feet. This was what happiness looked like. Not perfect, not without its scars and complications, but real, honest, built on patience and understanding and the kind of love that waits. My phone buzzed, a message from Stella. Happy New Year. Still can't believe you married the guy you met through drunk texting customer service. What are the odds? I smiled and showed it to Ash. He laughed. Astronomical, but I'll take it. Me too, I said, kissing him as the clock struck midnight. Me too. Outside, someone set off sparklers in the courtyard below. They flickered and danced, casting light into the darkness. Warm days, sparks every year, forever.